So one of the key topics that we emphasize on Second Act TV is that to live life to the fullest, we need to take charge of our emotional health. Well, if you're in the midst of menopausal madness, where do you find the support you need to get through this emotional roller coaster ride? That's today on Second Act TV. Jeanne, thank you for staying and continuing our conversation about our emotional health, as we enter the 50s and beyond. What happens? Why is 50 so much more, traumatic than, say, turning 30 or 40?
Yeah, it is more profound for many reasons. For one thing, there are very dramatic physical changes going on in our body, and that can make everything a lot different. If you're not getting the sleep you need, if your skin feels dry, if your libido is going downhill, if you feel like suddenly you cannot tell by the thermometer what the temperature is outside because your body's going in all directions.
Yeah.
That's going to affect you quite a bit. And then you're reaching a point where your family life, your lifestyle is bound to be going through some big changes in this next decade.
Yeah.
Kids will probably be leaving home. You'll be thinking about what you're going to do for your retirement years. Can you retire? Are you financially set up for that? And if not, it's kind of hard to catch up now.
Yeah. Or do you want to? I mean,
And do you want to?
Yeah.
Are you being pushed into it? And are you going to be restarting your life in many ways, as a lot of women find themselves doing?
Yeah. I know that, for me, crossing the 50, I didn't think that was any big deal at all for some reason, my 50th birthday, until I crossed it. And somehow there is some sort of an awakening. You go, my gosh, half of my life is over.
If you're lucky. Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you do. You start thinking about things that can be pretty depressing.
Well, you are feeling things on a more profound level. It's a time when you start to look inwards more. At the same time that your body is changing and people are looking at you differently, and there's no way you can hold on to the myth maybe of still being as hot as you were 20 years ago. So there are going to be big changes. And if you feel like you're not handling this very well, if you feel like you're being kind of a bitch, then you probably are. You should do something about that, because...
What do you see in your practice then?
Well, I see people coming in oftentimes rather late in the day when things are already falling apart, when they felt like, I can't take it anymore with my family, with what's going on at work, maybe feeling like their body is out of control, their weight, their well-being, physical deterioration that they could have prevented and still have a chance to if they will take the steps now.
Yeah, I think what I'm hearing you say and what you're describing, and what we hear from our friends is this: you're not alone in this,
and it's
by any means.
And it's and a lot of times women do feel that way. As much as we hear about menopause and read it, as much as we know about these life changes, there's still that part of us that says, why should we be bitching when our lives are pretty good? If, we've got...
But we're miserable.
Yeah, and yet you're not feeling good. So if you're not feeling good, then it means you need to take some steps to do some reevaluation. Maybe it's not working as well as you're trying to tell yourself it is. Or maybe there are some things you can do to get a different perspective about what's going on.
Yeah. So we're not self-indulgent in problems that maybe, that aren't monumental. There's a friend of mine said the other day, there's droughts here and famine here, and just suck it up.
Yes.
That's not good advice.
Because that will make those famine and drought people feel so much better, won't it? The fact is, if we're not optimizing ourselves, if we're not working at our most highest level, then we're not going to be able to help others around us. We're not going to be able to do our best for our work, our family, or ourselves.
That's a wonderful takeaway. I love that. If we're not at our best, we're not good for anybody else. Yeah. So it's okay to seek therapy. You're not being self-indulgent. It's one of the healthiest things that you can do. We've been talking about the importance of maintaining our emotional health as we go through some pretty difficult changes turning 50. If you're experiencing some of the same that we've been talking about here today, go to our website. We've got some additional resources for you that hopefully will help. Thanks for joining us.